Thank you very much for welcoming me to China and for the hospitality extended to me and my delegation.
Here is why President William Ruto is proving to be the craftiest leader on the global stage at playing his fellow presidents, even those long considered masters of political trickery. Remember the time when Ruto was cornered by a journalist on live TV during his visit to the USA? The journalist asked him the classic East versus West question. Would he align Kenya with the West, that is USA and other European countries, or the East, specifically China? Without missing a beat, Ruto refused to pick a side, skillfully sidestepping the question like a seasoned diplomat. He wittingly responded, implying that neutrality was his game, refusing to show allegiance to either power bloc.
You'll forgive me if I just put it straightforward in good, blunt terms. If a choice is made between investment by China and investment by the United States and companies, which would you prefer?
You know, let me tell you, Quest, many people want to pull us into a conversation as to whether we are facing East or we are facing West. Let me tell you, we are neither facing West nor facing East, we are facing forward. Because that is where the opportunities are. And we are working in a manner to make sure that our assets, what Africa has, what Kenya has. We have, for example, in Kenya, 90% of our grid is green. It is the reason why we are working with Microsoft to put together the first ever 1 gigawatt data center. So we are looking at where our opportunities are, and we are working with those who can help us unlock those opportunities, make them into investments, create jobs, create wealth, and take Kenya to the next level as we take Africa in the same direction.
Fast forward a few months and the USA rolled out the red carpet for Ruto, showering him with goodies at the White House and even declaring Kenya a non-NATO ally. You'd think that would seal the deal, right? Well, you are very wrong. In a move straight out of a political thriller, Ruto pulled a fast one. After basking in America's warm embrace, he suddenly turned his attention to China, the very nation he had refused to pledge allegiance to during his visit in the USA. Now he is in China for the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation Summit, an event seen as a golden opportunity to renew and strengthen Africa's ties with Beijing.
Road roads have been constructed, opening up previously inaccessible areas, boosting trade and enhancing the livelihoods of local communities. These infrastructure projects, supported by Chinese financing and expertise, have not only improved Kenya's transportation network but have also stimulated economic growth by attracting investment and creating jobs.
Ruto's visit to China has been interpreted as a bold slap in the face to the USA, despite the royal treatment he received in Washington. It is no secret that China and the USA have been locked in a bitter economic tussle since 2018, when former US President Donald Trump slapped tariffs on China, accusing them of unfair trade practices and intellectual property theft. While the USA might have thought they had secured Kenya as their new lover, they apparently forgot about China's deep roots in Kenya development. After all, China has long been Kenya's sugar daddy, funding massive infrastructure projects like the Thika Superhighway and the SGR. When Ruto took office, many assumed he would keep Kenya firmly in China's orbit, just as his predecessors had done before. But instead, he made a public show of causing up to the USA, making many believe Kenya had officially switched teams. So when Ruto announced his visit to China, it was like a bombshell revelation in a soap opera. Just when we thought we had the plot figured out, he threw a curveball, reminding everyone that Kenya isn't ready to settle down just yet. His trip has sparked a heated debate online, with Kenyans warning both the USA and China not to trust him too much, suggesting that Ruto's true loyalty is to his own political chess game and that anyone could end up as a collateral damage.
I want to thank you for your support, encouragement, and it's important that we as citizens talk about our public policy because it affects all of us. The president is going to China 2.5 years after his mandate because he's failed in his policy with the West, which means the Americans, the European Union. He is now going to the East. Now, what face is he going to wear when he goes to China and all the Chinese know that this guy put his lot with the Americans and is made a non-NATO ally? While the Chinese are militarily struggling against the Americans over the Taiwan Straits. What roads and bridges and ports and infrastructure have the Americans and the British built in Kenya? Apart from the roads that connected the colonial farmers to Nairobi, the one road. I want to tell you that Mr. Ruto's statecraft is based on voodoo statecraft, voodoo foreign policy, voodoo economics, voodoo language, voodoo governance, voodoo policy, Shindwe. Words of the Lord are altogether true, righteous all the time.
One has to wonder, how is the USA feeling right now? Perhaps they are experiencing the same kind of betrayal a man feels when he sees his new girlfriend, who is just spent a huge fortune on, slipping back into the arms of her ex. As for President Ruto, he is playing the field like a pro, leaving everyone guessing who will take home in the end.